Imagine a world where a dance could turn deadly. Welcome to the year 1518 in the city of Strasbourg. Nestled on the western banks of the Rhine River, this vibrant city was about to witness an event unlike any other. An event that would baffle historians and medical professionals for centuries to come. It all began on a seemingly ordinary day when a woman named Frau Trophäa stepped onto the cobblestone streets. Without a melody to guide her or a partner to accompany her, she began to dance. Her movements were wild and uncontrolled, yet she danced with a fervor that was mesmerizing. As Frau Trophäa danced, a crowd began to gather. The onlookers stared in bewilderment and curiosity, some even clapping and laughing. To them, it was a display of eccentricity, an amusing distraction in the monotony of daily life. But as the hours turned into days and Frau Trophäa continued to dance without rest, the amusement gradually turned into concern. Despite her apparent exhaustion, Frau Trophäa seemed unable to stop. Her feet were bruised and bleeding, her face was flushed and sweaty, but still she danced. Her relentless display was a powerful spectacle that captivated the city. Her dance was not a joyful jig or a festive waltz, but a desperate, unstoppable whirl that held a bizarre, hypnotic appeal. It was not long before this hypnotic appeal began to spread. One by one, other townsfolk started to join Frau Trophäa in her dance. The cobblestone streets that were once filled with the usual hustle and bustle of the city were now the stage for this inexplicable dance of fervour. And so, what started as a lone woman's dance turned into a spectacle that the city of Strasbourg was not prepared for. Little did they know this was only the beginning of what would come to be known as the Dancing Plague of 1518, a phenomenon that would grip the city in a frenzy of dance, fatigue and ultimately death. Within a week, the dance turned into a plague. Dozens, then hundreds, joined the frenzy. Streets of Strasbourg buzzed with the rhythm of ceaseless steps, a bizarre spectacle that would have been delightful if it wasn't so dreadfully strange. The city was gripped by an epidemic of dancing, a phenomenon inexplicable to the observers and terrifying for the victims. As the plague spread, theories began to circulate. The physicians of the time, steeped in the humoral theory of medicine, blamed hot blood for the outbreak. They believed the fervent dancing was a symptom of overheated blood and prescribed, astonishingly, more dancing as a remedy. The authorities, desperate for a solution, even hired musicians to play for the dancers, hoping to help them dance the fever out. A curious solution indeed, but one that only added to the spectacle and perhaps the severity of the plague. Yet the hot blood theory wasn't the only explanation. In retrospect, modern science offers another perspective. Some historians and psychologists suggest the dancing plague might have been a case of mass psychogenic illness, a form of mass hysteria. It's a phenomenon where physical symptoms with no known physical cause appear within a group, often triggered by stress or fear. Given the hardships of the time, famine, disease and social upheaval, the people of Strasbourg were a tinderbox of anxiety and the dancing plague, a spark that ignited a collective outburst of stress. However, while these theories offer some insight, they fall short of a conclusive explanation. The hot blood theory was based on outdated medical understanding, and while mass psychogenic illness provides a plausible framework, it can't definitively explain why the people danced, and not, say, laughed or wept. Despite the theories, the cause of this plague remained as elusive as the cure. The dancing plague of 1518 remains a riddle, wrapped in the mystery of the human mind and the echoes of a time long past. As the dancing plague spread, the authorities took a peculiar approach. Instead of seeking to halt the bizarre spectacle, they instead chose to encourage it. They believed the dancing was a result of hot blood, a medieval concept of disease caused by an imbalance of the four humours in the body. The cure, they concluded, was to let the dancers dance until they rid themselves of the fever. So, in an odd twist, stages were constructed, musicians were hired, and the townsfolk were urged to join in. The local authorities hoped that by promoting the dance, they could control it, and eventually the fever would break, the music would stop, and life would return to normal. But the plan backfired. The music and the stages did not quell the mania, but rather fueled it. More and more people joined in the dance. The spectacle grew day by day, turning the town into a macabre carnival of ceaseless motion. And as the days turned into weeks, the consequences began to show. Dancers, driven by an unseen force, continued their relentless jig even as their bodies failed them. They danced with bleeding feet, with bodies racked by exhaustion until they collapsed. But even that did not end their torment. Many, upon regaining consciousness, resumed their dance, as if possessed by some demonic puppeteer. The toll was more than just physical. The sight of neighbors, friends and family caught in this relentless dance of despair created a climate of fear and panic. People were terrified, not knowing who would be next to fall victim to the dancing plague. As the bodies began to pile up, the dance of death, as it came to be known, left a grim mark on Strasbourg. And then, as abruptly as it had started, the dancing stopped. The music ceased, the stages were dismantled, and the survivors were left to pick up the pieces of their lives. The dancing plague of 1518 remains one of history's most bizarre events. The exact cause is still a subject of debate among historians and scientists. Was it mass hysteria, a reaction to extreme stress and famine, or was it ergotism, a condition caused by consuming rye contaminated with a certain kind of mold? We may never know for sure, but one thing is certain: the dancing plague serves as a stark reminder of the thin line between sanity and madness, and how quickly a community can be engulfed by fear and confusion when faced with the inexplicable and the unknown. By the time the dancing finally ceased, the city was forever changed. The dancing plague of 1518, as abruptly as it had started, came to an end. The fervour subsided, the music stopped, and the streets of Strasbourg, once filled with the relentless rhythm of hundreds of people, fell silent. The aftermath was nothing short of devastating. Many had died from exhaustion, heart attacks and strokes, their bodies pushed beyond the brink by the unending dance. Those who survived were left exhausted, their lives irrevocably altered by the bizarre occurrence. The city too bore the scars of this strange episode, a chapter that would be etched in its history forever. But what was the significance of the dancing plague? Why does it continue to intrigue us more than 5 centuries later? It serves as a stark reminder of the power of the human mind, how it can lead us to behave in ways that defy logic and understanding. It also casts a light on the societal and environmental pressures of the time. Famine, disease and despair were rampant, possibly contributing to this mass psychogenic illness, a phenomenon where physical symptoms with no identifiable cause appear within a group. The dancing plague also underscores the importance of interdisciplinary approaches in understanding historical events. It's not just about dates and facts, but also about examining social, psychological, and environmental factors. It demonstrates how the lines between history, psychology, sociology, and even medical science can blur, leading to a more holistic understanding of our past. And perhaps its most significant impact lies in its enduring mystery. Despite numerous theories, no definitive explanation has been found, leaving us with more questions than answers. Was it mass hysteria, a spiritual journey, or something else entirely? The dancing plague of 1518 continues to puzzle and fascinate, a testament to the human capacity for the unexplainable, the strange and the extraordinary. The dancing plague of 1518 remains one of history's most bizarre mysteries. Today, we remember this event, not just for its peculiarity, but for the light it sheds on human behavior and societal reactions. The dancing plague of 1518, a strange and tragic chapter in our history, allows us to reflect on the power of the human mind and the influence of societal pressures. It serves as a stark reminder of how psychological phenomena combined with physical hardships can manifest in the most extraordinary ways. In the face of the inexplicable, the authorities of the time responded as best they could, highlighting the importance of understanding and addressing phenomena that lie beyond our immediate comprehension. This bizarre yet fascinating tale from the past continues to intrigue historians and psychologists alike, proving that history is not just about kings, queens, and wars. It's about people, their struggles, and their attempts to understand and cope with the world around them. Join us next time as we uncover more secrets from the annals of secret history. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the past. We hope the dancing plague of 1518 has intrigued you as much as it has us. If you found this episode of Secret History interesting, please give it a thumbs up. Your likes help us reach a larger audience and share these fascinating stories with more people. If you haven't done so already, consider subscribing to our channel. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when we release a new episode. We delve deep into the annals of history, uncovering secrets, mysteries, and fascinating tales that you won't find in your average history book. Thank you for watching. Remember, history is full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. Keep questioning, keep exploring, and together we'll continue to unveil the hidden chapters of our past. Until next time, this is Secret History signing off.